in your days in Major League Baseball from 1988 all the way through to 2009, you saw quite some conversations between baseball and the union. What were you thinking as you were watching all of these machinations over the last few weeks trying to put a 2020 season together?
Well, much like when I went through it personally as a player, you realize that not everything that everybody hears in the media or in the papers is accurately going to be described. Sometimes it works as posturing. Sometimes it's a scenario where it's not even close. But I thought the whole time that something would be worked out. I remained optimistic, just having been through it, knowing that it's not always depicted the right way. So, look, it's always a tenuous situation when you're trying to negotiate something under normal circumstances. I can't even imagine what it's like to throw in a million other possibilities into trying to figure that out. So it was definitely, on the outside looking in, people don't really understand how this came to be, but the good news is it's where it is right now, and baseball is going to be played, and it's going to be one of the most intriguing and exciting seasons we've ever seen, although be it 60 games. That's the big part of what makes it so intriguing.
Exactly. And I do want to get into that baseball discussion and go down that wormhole and talk about the game and what the season might look like from a strategy standpoint and obviously a wins and losses standpoint. But I do want to just linger a little bit here on what you just said about not everything gets reported properly. What did you mean by that, John?
Well, I think that you send your message out at times, and depending on how it's received or depending on how it's even, written, sometimes gets little pockets of information get out, whether, that's the majority or the minority of feeling something in a situation where you have a negotiation going on. So, I just know that back when we were doing what we were doing, it was a total different set of circumstances. It was a more veteran-laden kind of experienced leadership in baseball was more filled with older players. This is a totally different set of players and a totally different set of circumstances. So I don't think the two quite come together as the same, and leadership's different. So, all that being said, you're going to have things, and you hope players are as informed as they can be and certainly represent the voices as best as they can.
Yeah, I know, but I guess the mistrust between both sides still lingers, huh, John? I mean,
yeah, there's no doubt. There's definitely going to be some bumpy roads down the road. I mean, they still have to work out some kinks, just like, again, the last 3 to 4 years, you're going to have two sets of narrative. Players are going to believe something. The owners are going to believe something. That's why you have an impasse at times, and you try to figure out how to come to an understanding. And you hope, as we were hoping, that leadership represents the mass of opinion rather than a small pocket. And, not being in that anymore, I have no way of knowing, how that played out. But I go back to, having this. It's hard to carve out a timeout. Like, this should have been a timeout in our world because this is unprecedented circumstances. So disagreements should definitely be on hold, but the timeout should have figured out a way to get baseball played. And however it got to it, I'm glad we're playing baseball.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.